Hi, my name is Craig Wilkinson, and it's great to be able to share with you some of the thoughts, even though I'm here in Cape Town and you're in Johannesburg. A gathering of men like this is a sacred and beautiful event. Men and masculinity is a great gift to society, and unfortunately, men can often cause great damage, but they're a great gift. And we're here this morning and today to unlock the gift that we are as men and as fathers. So fantastic to be here, and I hope you have a wonderful day and really begin to unlock what it means to be a real man. A father is the most important man in his child's life, without a doubt. And how a man lives his life and fathers his child plays a massive role in how that child turns out. Some have said that the relationship between a father and a son is the most powerful relationship in the universe. And there's a lot of truth in that. How men raise their sons plays a huge role in how well that child or that son turns out. Fathers are called upon to do many, many things, and every single son has a deep, deep question in his heart as a youngster, and that question he brings to his father. The father is the most important role model. He's the most important man in his son's life. Fortunately, it doesn't have to be a biological dad, and there are elders in the community, and they're mentors. Many of you in the audience today are mentors, and you're here with boys that are not your own children, and that's fantastic. The old saying that says that it takes a village to raise a child is so true, and elders can play a massive role in filling in for where fathers fall short. UNICEF, which is the children's division of the United Nations, has recently said that absent fathers is the single biggest social issue of our times. One commentator said that the damage to humanity done by the epidemic of unfathered men and women is worse than the damage that's been done to humanity by war and disease combined. So we see that fathers play a huge role, men play a huge role. I said earlier that masculinity is a powerful and beautiful gift to the world, but unfortunately masculinity is often wounded and therefore abused. The question that a young boy brings to his father or to an older man in the community is the question of, Dad, do I have what it takes? Am I big enough? Am I strong enough? Am I enough? Am I fast enough, clever enough? And often in the absence of a father, a young boy is left to answer that question for himself. He doesn't know the answer to that. And he feels like he's not enough. He's not big enough, strong enough, fast enough, not man enough. And the other problem that happens to young boys is society has misconceptions and wrong ideas about what it is to be a man. And we listen to those lies. And the lies are often around sex. The more woman that you can have, the more of a man you are. They're around power. The more power you have, the more of a man you are. And they're around money. The more money you have and the more economic power you have, the more of a man you are. And these are all lies. A true man is not someone who needs lots of women. It's not someone who needs lots of money. And is not someone who needs lots of power. So men who are wounded, men who haven't had the question answered by their fathers, men who believe these lies from society spend their whole lives seeking to chase women and to have more women because that makes them feel like a man. And they seek to gain more power, whether it's through fighting and abusing, and they seek more money, whether it's through graft or corruption. So men are stuck in the cycle often of woundedness. I don't feel like I have what it takes. I'm not man enough. And my idea of what a man is wrong. A true man is someone, number one, who takes responsibility. If he's got a child, he takes responsibility for that child. If he has a wife, he takes responsibility. If he has a job, so a true man takes responsibility. And we don't have that model to us enough by men. Number two, a true man stands for something. A man has convictions, and he stands for those things. He has values, and he has a cause. He has something that's bigger than himself that he's fighting for. He doesn't live for himself, he lives for others, and he lives for his family. The third thing that a man does is a man doesn't live by what's convenient. He lives by what is true, what's in his heart. He has what we call a true north. So he stands for something and he lives for that something. And he doesn't allow himself to get distracted from that. What happens when a man is wounded, when he feels like he doesn't have what it takes, or he isn't enough, or his father's been absent so he hasn't had anyone telling him that he's a real man. What men tend to do is they either fail to use their strength. Men are called to use their strength. Men are not called to sit back and allow the world to happen. They're called and designed to stand up and use their strength for what's right and good and just. So men either fail to use their strength or they use their strength in a way that's not appropriate, in a way where they dominate or they abuse, either verbally or physically or sexually. They abuse because they do that because it makes them feel more of a man. So when men fail to use their strength, they become passive. When they don't take responsibility, or when they use their strength in a way that's inappropriate or abusive, these are not true men. I'd like to say this morning, as you go into this workshop, that what we need to do as men is to stand up and be counted. We need to stand up, and I'm wearing a t-shirt that says real man, real dad. What this country needs is real men and real dads. Men who stand up, take responsibility, know what it is to be a true man. And you know, for us to do that, we need to realize that none of us grew up with a perfect father. Many of us grew up without our fathers at all. Some of us don't even know the names of our fathers. Some of us had fathers that were there, but they were very absent. Some of us had fathers who were there, but they were drinking all the time and drunk. Some of us had fathers who modeled violence to us. They beat us and they beat our mothers. Some of us just don't even know who our fathers were. And so we carry a wound in our hearts, a wound that comes from a lack of a father showing us that we have what it takes. What men need from their fathers is their fathers to call them out, to see them as a son and say, son, I see you, I identify you, I know who you are, I call you, I come out and be a man and stand as a man amongst men. They need fathers who will validate them, who will tell them who you are is good, who you are is valid. You have something to offer the world. You are worthy and you are good. And we need men who will model the way for us, who will show us how to do things and how to live and how to be a man. And when we don't have men that call us out, who validate us and who model the way, there's a wound in our heart. And I'd say to all of you seated here today, let's look at the wound in our heart. Let's look in the mirror and see what we lacked as sons and men growing up. Let's also look at what it means to be a true man. Let's look at what that means not to be a true man, the lies about masculinity. Let's reject the lies. Let's embrace the fact that, yes, we were not fathered perfectly. Yes, there might well be a wound in my soul. But really, to be a man, I don't have to play the man. I don't have to pursue woman, pursue money, pursue power. I can be true to myself. I can stand for something. I can take responsibility. And I can find healing. God, is the Father of all fathers, is willing to refather every one of us who just gives them the opportunity. And we're able to refather ourselves through our friendships, our peers, those who are among us to mentor us. And for those men here who are mentors, I would salute you and say you're doing a great thing. What we need in this country is for men to stand up, to be counted, to take responsibility, to live for something, to have true values, to not do what's convenient or easy, and for us men to stand together and to begin to build a brand new nation. We can do that. Have a wonderful day. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with each other. Be vulnerable. If there's wounding, be honest about that wounding. Be honest about your past. Let it go, because we cannot change the past, but embrace what it means to be a true man. And let's together stand up and become and be true men. All the best.